body bags were horror lies.
People, it's your boy BeeCeeHQ, back with another review. This one is Night of the Demons from 1988, directed by Kevin Tenney. It's actually listed as a comedy fantasy horror. So it's an hour. It runs for an hour and a half. IMDb average rating 6.3. I liked the cover first and foremost. Before I watched the film, I saw the cover for it and I thought it was a pretty cool cover. Then I watched the film. In my opinion, the plot was okay, but the pacing of the film, I actually checked during the film so I could mention it in the video, that it took until about 50 minutes into the film, bearing in mind it's only an hour and a half, it took about 50 minutes before anything happened of relevance in terms of demons and things like that. So yeah, I think some films I prefer when there's a slower build up and it's not just constant like jump scares and things like that, but there's always a risk of you not having enough of that in there as well. It's a fun film in terms of that 80s nostalgic, like you'll definitely like it for that reason, but I just felt I didn't feel the pacing, as I said, was anywhere near what it should have been. It just took too long for anything to happen. When things did start happening, it wasn't particularly scary. It was kind of predictable, and I thought that as well, like, none of the characters stood out to me in terms of their quality of acting. It was very cheesy, not the most believable characters I've seen by a long shot. And yeah, it's definitely one of the worst horrors I've seen. So if you haven't seen it, you might want to check it out. You might rate it better than I have, but if I would advise, it's not the end of the world if you don't come to review it or see it. That's my opinion. I was quite shocked when I checked on IMDb what the average rating was, because I'll get into my rating in a minute, but it is not 6.3. So the plot for it is basically 10 teenagers go to an abandoned funeral parlour, and it all unfolds from there on Halloween night. Now, the makeup for this was okay. There's a few scenes in there where like the demons are coming and stuff and taking over, possessing. But yeah, I just felt it could have been a lot better than it was. I was expecting a lot more, especially at the start of the film. It started off well, like in terms of just, it looked like a fun film, but it just nosedived for me. So I give it a 4 out of 10. That's the lowest rating I've give out of all the films I reviewed. And when I say all the films, I mean on my own channel I've reviewed a few films as well, and this is the lowest I've reviewed any of the films. So that gives you an idea of how, in terms of quality, that I give this film. 4 out of 10. As I said, if you haven't seen it, you might like it, like especially if you were an 80s baby, like you might just enjoy it for the nostalgic factor of it, and the soundtrack and things like that. But for me, it wasn't my cup of tea. And that's about it. So once again, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, I'll see you next time.